Alright guys, welcome to Wild Company and I. Thank you for tuning in again. Today we're going to do a little video on how I do, or how we do, me and Mark at Wild Company and I, do char cloth and then flint and steel firelighting. So firstly, we'll talk you through how we do the char cloth, what you need, and take you through step by step. So first of all, an old t-shirt, or a t-shirt actually that hasn't been used. The best you can get is 100% cotton. That has not been used, hasn't been washed, hasn't been worn. That'll give you the best results. So we have a t-shirt here. We've cut it up into the different stages, so your strips, and then into your squares, and then you'll pop it in your tin. There's different ways of doing it, but the day we're going to show you today is, because we're not going to light a fire in the garden, is we're going to show you on the M44 mess tin set. And this is just your trangia, however you like to say it. So you can do this over your stove in the house. You can do it over an open fire. You can do it over a gas burner, trangia, whatever way is feasible to you at the time. But we're not lighting a fire for this today. We're at home, so we're going to do it in the trangia. Yep, that's definitely going. Alright, and while that air's heating up, guys, I'll talk you through the steps, alright? So yeah, through the step to step from scratch to your end result. So, old t-shirt, or new, sorry, explain earlier. T-shirt can be a tea towel, and this 100% cotton is going to be your best results. The way I do it is I cut up into strips to then yield into the squares. So use a knife, use a pair of scissors, use whatever you have at home just to get your squares. Doesn't really matter obviously on if all the squares are the same size or some's bigger, some's smaller. It doesn't really matter. You can cut any circles if you really want it to. Doesn't really matter at all. So get your squares, your cloth, and then you'll use a tin. This is a pawn shop sweetie tin. Use different kinds of tins. You can do an old tobacco tin, sweetie tin, whatever. Something that you don't preferably you don't want to get wrecked. And you'll pierce a wee hole in the top of it, and I'll explain a bit more as that way later on. So this is Mark's, and this is some char cloth which has already been made. I'm just going to take this out for the purpose of the video and store it in his wee bag. Alright, so you get your tin, get your cloth, place it in the tin, lid on, and pop it over the heat. And you'll see it'll start to flame at the top and smoke and stuff, but let that go in there and let it do its trick, alright? Alright guys, so it's getting up to temperature now. The smoke's starting to come out through the wee hole. So what I've done is I've just carved a wee stick, small enough to plug it. And what that does is it starves the oxygen inside the tin, and that will allow it to stay as char cloth rather than keep burning and come down a ash basically with nothing left if you kept doing that. So I'm just going to plug it and then leave it on for a wee bit longer. Alright guys, so while that's doing its thing, charring away over there, I'll show you our kits. And Mark's a bit more of a high-end kit, mine's a bit more of a starter, cheap, and things that most people have learned about the house. So Mark's is, I believe, a Mears Woodlore. That's what for your striking, and then your flint you'll get around somewhere around near you live. Alright, it doesn't have to be anything special about it, but what you want is a sharp edge, and it's just that striking motion there. Mark's is a really nice one, fits the hand really well, and you've seen his tin, that's where he keeps all his stuff, it all stays together. And this is my tin. I keep mine in a wee bag just to prevent moisture from getting in. Alright guys, just while I'm talking here, I'll pull this off now. Just bear with us. Alright. So yeah, sorry, where was it? So yeah, I keep my kit inside this so it just prevents any further moisture from getting in. Whereas with Mark, he keeps his char cloth in this wee bag, and in this bag he has one of the wee dehydration sacks you would get in your beef jerky and stuff like that there, just to help keep the moisture out of that there as well. So different ways of doing it, different trains of thought. Mine's is an old tobacco tin with a hole in the top again, as you can see. And inside my tin I have some char cloth pre-made. This is some flax wool, which is great as well for whenever you're trying to get your flame and your spark, which is I'll show you later on as well. And what I have is a file rather than this, and the reason I use a file is because it's also hardened, so it is. So that's why it's hardened carbon steel, and you'll find with a lot of the cheaper ones you'll only have the edge hardened, so after a while you stop getting your sparks, you stop doing the job. But it needs to be carbon steel, or high carbon steel is better. Some people, you can also use, if you've got a carbon knife, they can use the back of the blade. Obviously this is stainless steel, so I've seen people pinning their char cloth and trying to get sparks by doing that. I've never really been greatly successful on it, so I don't do it. But yeah, this is an old file, just cut down and slightly round it off, and this is all I've used. I've never bought one of these here, so it does the same job. You'll get the same sparks, but it's not as easy to hold or as comfortable as this here. You can get a better grip with that there. Alright guys, so I'll unplug this now and show you the char cloth. Right, guys, we've given this a minute or two to cool down now, so I'll show you the results and hopefully not make a fool of myself. Yeah, it's not too bad. You can see it there. You can see there's still a little bit of brown on it. I don't know if you can see it very well on the camera or not, but if I go down through the layers, it's good and black. Ideally, you would like to give it a little bit longer, so as it was black the whole way through, but I find it's a fickle timeline, because you either go too long and then some of it's going to be no good, you go too little, some of it's also not too good because it hasn't been long enough. So, you know, but there's still, if you have a full tin there, you're still going to have lots of usable material that will last a good amount of time. Alright guys, so now I'm going to talk you through the materials I'm going to use throughout this process. Alright, so the first one we're going to have is our char cloth, which we just made there now. Then we're going to go into this is flax wool or fibres or something. This is going to be what I'm going to transfer this into. And now this is stuff I carry with me and I have, but equally you could use cedar bark will work as well, or old man's beard, or so this is your flash tinder. So whenever this ember comes in and you start blowing, this is what boom goes to then ignite your next stage. So for the next stage, what we're using, what we have at home, is Raffia. Now this is it is a natural material as well, but we're using this as an alternative to dried grass, dried ferns, or something like that there. And what this will allow us to do is this will then catch the flame, so that'll go into your flame, then you can put that down and then start building your tinder on or your fuel on to make your fire. So I'm going to set it up and take you through the process of how to light a fire with flint and steel. So firstly, I don't need this much of this here, so I'll take a wee bit of it and just want to fluff it up to give it as good a chance as it can of catching, because if you've watched any of our videos before, you know I need as good a chance as any when it comes to lighting fires. So, and I'll make this into then like a wee bird's nest, just so as it's ready to get my ember. And the same with this here, you want to kind of have this heavy at the top, I always find, and narrow at the bottom, because that's where you're going to be blowing into. So we're making a wee nest in that there, pop that there into it, and then hopefully we'll transfer our ember from our char cloth into here, kind of close it round a wee bit, and then that'll hopefully do the trick for us. So here we go, guys. As well, whenever you're picking your flint or your church or quartz, whatever you have, you can use. I find flint best, and it's in abundance around here. So you want a good sharp edge. I don't know if you can see very well there or not, but a good sharp edge gives you as best a chance you can get at getting a spark. Then what we'll do is we will take our char cloth, and you can fluff up the ends. Some people do, some people don't. It's up to yourself. But what I like to do is bunch it up and find my edge, and you want to set it. I take the frayed ends from where I cut. I find it's easier to land a spark onto there. So take your frayed ends and just have them on the lip, like so. Hopefully you can see okay there. And then go for it. With these here, it's not so much as this, it's more of a quick snap of the wrist. Now, you will not be able to see that, but I can feel it on my thumb. You see it burning there? It's burning pretty well actually. So transfer that in. Take your time with these steps too, guys. You don't need to rush too much. See that smoking? And see, you want to bring it down and then up. And there you have it, guys. You can then set your stuff you have prepared for to make your fire on top. I'm just going to put this out so as we don't burn the garden down. But there you have it, guys. Any questions at all? Hopefully we can help. Pop them in the comments, and we'll gladly answer if we can. But yeah, that's how I do flint and steel and char cloth from start to finish.